We're gonna go up here and do a little test fire in the corner. We'll start here, wrap this corner around, and then once we're done with that, we'll go ahead and just keep carrying fire along the top here. The goal here today is not to have too much fire, but have more like leaf reduction, you know, kind of like what we did over there. So that's the goal for today. Everything seems good. We got everything checked out. So let's see how it goes. Basically right here, we're just kind of trying to see what the fire is doing. And everything's looking good so far. Hot. There's a few spots that I would say it's a little wet, so we'll have to go back interior a little bit once we get done with the burn and maybe burn the little things. They're called islands, unburned fuel. So we'll go in there and burn them off at the end. I'm just going to continue on down to the end, and we're going to make sure this spot's pretty secure and all that, and then we'll probably just wrap it around and maybe strip it down the middle and then strip it at the beginning or the bottom down there. Yeah, like I said, overall the top half's looking really good, so, but it's still a little wet and the humidity's still a tad bit high. We'll just keep playing with it and, you know, being safe with it. Send your blades in, you'll get your blades back in a week, all this and that, you know, and then basically right after I got mine in July of 2020, I'm pretty sure after that it was, yeah, about a year, two year wait almost for Wood-Misers. I also tried to order an edger from Wood-Miser, and they said that was going to be 48 weeks out. This past year I took off fighting wildland firefighting. Why am I a wildland firefighter? Well, that's easy. I love the job. You watch videos back in the day, besides them wearing jeans, you know, like no hard hats, it's pretty much the same tactics as far as, you know, fight fire aggressively, but providing for safety. You know, they've always done that in a sense, but it's always, you know, from the early 1900s when we first started kind of really documenting fire to present day. I feel like safety's always been a priority, but it's just gotten better throughout the years. The thing I like about being on a, you know, a hand crew or a hot shot crew is just that line of work's been the same since back in the day. You know, people always saying like, I wish I lived back in the 60s. I wish I lived back in this and this. You're like, do firefighting, wildland, and you'll feel that for about 16 hours. And I guarantee you'll like, a lot of people will like their living room after that. Well, that's our typical shifts, or 16 hours on, 8 hours off. It's called 2-to-1. That got established in 2001. There's a thing called a lessons learned that came out, and basically is an investigation on, you know, what happened during the fire and, you know, how did they get burnt up, if there's ways to prevent that. And, you know, one of just the basic things was they were up 2 days straight, you know, got woken up in the middle of the night, you know, just got back from a fire. Like, if you stay up for 24 hours straight, you start to feel almost a little tipsy and drunk, so it impaired their decision making. That is why they came up with the 2-to-1. So if you work 16 hours, you have to have 8 hours off. Potentially go up to 48 hours or whenever additional resources come. But speaking of the off season, in my off season, this is what I do. I really like that it's not firefighting, because I get a lot of work in. It's a lot of manual labor still. I do a lot of things that help me in the off season, or help me for my fire season, which comes in around, I start end of March and I go till about mid-October. I'm in the outdoors still. When I go and harvest trees or get trees, I'm, cutting them down, so I'm practicing felling trees all the time, bucking trees all the time. And not saying I'm perfect, but you do get a lot of trigger time, which helps a lot. The thing I love about milling is just running through that first piece of wood and just seeing what I could have. I could have a beautiful slab. I could have a whole bunch of ants that come out of them. Being that first person to cut through it is kind of a cool thing. And I like milling a lot. I don't like getting overwhelmed with milling. I'm glad it's not like a big industrial thing. I'm glad I'm able to just take my time and basically just mill and take a break, have a good time, learn a lot, because I'm still learning so much. I would say my 5-year goal is to keep this milling and, keep evolving it in a sense, but I really want to get into I love my skid steer and, keeping it minimal damage in the woods, but my goal in 5 years is the horse logging. I really want to get into horse logging. Hopefully one day I can get into horse logging, and that will just help the environment a lot more, a lot less damage. Like I was saying about my firefighting, I do love and appreciate the way people did it back in the day, and I do want to keep that tradition going in a sense, but I also do appreciate what the 21st century brings us. So if I can utilize both of that in a sense, I really do enjoy it. I'm learning something every day. I'm learning how to take videos every day. I'm learning how to watch my dog run around like crazy. Yeah, overall, I'm really enjoying it, and I hope I can continue doing this YouTube stuff and progress and get better. And, if the audience grows like crazy, that's fine. If it stays the same, I'm honestly fine with it, because the people that watch my videos now, I really do appreciate everything and just watching the videos. But like I said, the burn went really well. I mean, I didn't see no problems with it. Not too much smoke got in the air. Fire carried really well for the humidities being a little bit higher. I think the humidity was around 50%, so that's pretty high. I've enjoyed it, and I appreciate everybody watching me, and I hope you guys continue to watch me. I really do just enjoy making these videos. And if you guys want to watch them, you guys can watch them. And if you guys don't watch them, I'll probably show them to my kids when I get a little older, I guess. But yeah, I really enjoy it, so thanks. We're doing this for erosion control. Erosion control, first off, is so all these leaves basically that we're burning, which it didn't burn very well down here. That's just because, this is where all the runoff is, and the humidity was a little higher even just right here. But once we walk back up top there, we'll see it. But all that black, all those leaves that are gone now, it helps just, water mitigate off the hill better. Another reason we do it is just to, have some sort of barrier if we have a fire that ever does come into this area. Yeah, you always gotta be ready. You never know. It's just why do people put storm shelters or crazy stuff, some people just have a different idea of things, I don't, I understand trees bring oxygen and, life and all that, but you have to manage that in a sense. If trees were all overgrown here and we never put fire through, or we never managed the timber, the trees would suffocate themselves. So, there's a very fine line you got to play with all that. But I choose to burn. I believe in burning. I believe in managing the forest, and I believe in doing it as low impact as possible. Don't get me wrong. If someone gave me a feller buncher, it'd be cool. But we took it a little slower here. We didn't get it as hot, so not a lot of the leaves burnt really, but it's okay. We'll get it next time. But not all burns are 100%. I'm satisfied with this, very satisfied. Anything, I would say this was about 90% burnt, which is a great burn. So, I'm happy with it. Basically, burning it goes back into the soil. So the soil is getting nutrients now. The soil all this soil before we did this wasn't getting any sunlight. Now burning it, it will have sunlight. It will be able to establish more. The runoff will be easy. Like these trees will be able to get more water, and these dominant trees will be able to get more water in it. These little reprod trees could potentially die out now, which is okay. You want these trees to grow. You don't, those are, no, never mind. So after burn, some things you want to technically do is have no smoke showing. But we're going to let these just kind of smolder out, as they say. Also, you'll want to make sure you wear the right PPE and the right fire boots when you're out here. You might slip. But this looks a lot better. Opens it up. Looks good. I love it.